Well, that was possibly one of the weirdest pay-per-view premium live events from World Wrestling Entertainment that BC has ever come across. Forget the fact that we're waking up at 7, 8, 9 a.m. So many of us to watch this event and paying triple the amount that we were just last month. So that's why BC is not interested in telling you this was a good or a bad event. This was a decent or a horrible event. We're past that. There's such a disconnect right now between WWE and the fan base, where WWE is telling you straight out. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're telling you they're all about the dollar. They're all about just making the money and not caring at all about the viewer experience, the fan experience. If fans are even happy with the product, they don't care. They are about making as much money right now before they eventually sell to Saudi. And they're not even hiding it anymore. They're banking on the fans that are still going to show up no matter what. Spend however much they're asking for. Chant, "This is awesome, you deserve it, fight forever," and all the chants. Sing the wrestlers' names. Sing along to Seth. Yeet with Yeeterman. They're banking on those fans. And then the rest of us that refuse to be kicked to the curb. You ain't giving us Das Boot, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. We were fans before you even stepped into that ring. A lot of us. Most of us. We're going absolutely not. We ain't going anywhere. Fix this. Yeah, they don't like us, right? They say we're not real fans. They meaning Hunter Hearst Helmsley. We're not real fans. We can fuck off, is what Helmsley told us. And when we said, whoa, we need some storylines, man. What is Crown Jewel? It looks weird on paper. What do we have to latch on to? Helmsley had AJ Styles go out there and say we don't need stories. A live microphone on Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles says we don't need stories. That's what we had going into Crown Jewel. So going into Crown Jewel, a lot of us are waking up at crazy hours, spending 3 times what we used to pay to watch a show that doesn't need stories. Yeah, BC is past saying this is a good show or a bad show, a decent show, a horrible show. I don't care about that. Is this worth it? That's what I care about. Is it worth your time? Because I know so many of you don't spend the 2 to 3 to maybe 4 hours on this anymore because I don't blame you. It's garbage. So you listen to BC, you say, "Thank you, BC, for saving me the time." So now it is my duty to be as amplified and honest with you as imaginable. And letting you know if this is worth it. Is it worth your time? Is it worth getting up at 7, 8, 9 a.m. on a weekend? Is it worth paying 3 times what you used to pay? And I will tell you right now in this cold open teaser, in this opening monologue, I will tell you before we even go over this event, which we will match by match, I will tell you in that same token of amplified honesty, hell no, this ain't worth it. If there's a do-over, I tell you in a nanosecond, in a heartbeat, you sleep in on your weekend. You can catch this at any time. Sleep in. I tell you in a nanosecond, in a heartbeat, you do not spend 3 times the amount. You don't even spend the $9.99 you used to pay on the Peacock. Don't spend a dime on this. That is as honest as I can be with you. While every other talking head in the community is probably going to tell you, what an event, this was fun, this was a good show. You're not getting that garbage here. This company is selling you out. This company is berating you. This company is treating you like garbage. The guy in charge is talking down to you, thinks he's better than you. Says you're not even a real fan. Go ahead, screw off. Run along. Meanwhile, so many of us were watching this before he even stepped foot into a wrestling ring. And now he's going to tell us what to do? He's going to tell us if we're a fan or if we're not? He's going to tell us when we're getting Das booted as fans? No, that's not how this works. So yeah, I'm sure so many are going to tell you this was fun for what it was. This was a good little event. Had some fun stuff. I saw a lot of weird shit in this show. I saw Hunter Hearst Helmsley all over this show as per usual. The beginning of the show, the end of the show, obviously, with his damn credits. Every time somebody won one of those photo op big giant toy belts. You know, the ones that don't actually go with the wrestler that won it. The Crown Jewel Championship. They don't go with the wrestler. That won't even pass through TSA. That won't pass through the airport. That's just for a photo op. And thankfully, because no wrestler would want to win that. The thing is hideous. The size of Australia. But every time somebody won it, right, Stephanie? Rollins will go over it. There's Helmsley. Helmsley's out there to get the airtime. And you want to talk weird, you want to talk cringe, you want to talk creepy. How about Helmsley? Turning Stephanie around, putting the title on Stephanie. And then when Stephanie goes for a handshake, Helmsley no-sells it and goes for a big hug. And then, as he's letting go of the embrace like he always does with the females, he keeps them real close and he talks to them within like centimeters from their face. He even leans, rests his forehead onto the face of the female he's talking to. It is so odd. I remember the show Unreal where Rhea Ripley, there was a camera on it, and Rhea Ripley, there was a moment where she looked so awkward, you felt bad for her. You really felt bad for her, like, dude, that's not how you communicate to your employees. But this is what Helmsley does with the females. He treats them like vulnerable children who need daddy to give them a lecture. Daddy needs to give them a pep talk. Daddy needs to pump in some self-esteem. You're not their dad, dude. It's so cringe. There is no company, no business, no store that can or should be operating like that, where a boss would treat their employees or somebody that works under them, below them, in that manner. And it's always the females, obviously. Let him try doing that with the dudes. Putting his forehead on their forehead and talking them to them within centimeters. Like they're vulnerable kids that need their papa to give them a lecture, to give them a hoorah speech. Now the dudes would smack him upside his dome piece. When he tried that with Rollins later in the night, Rollins just got the point, right? Put the title on him. He's much farther apart. And then he gives him a point. I don't think I'm going to give you a face-to-face, head-to-head, nose-to-nose, like we're about to kiss lecture. No. I think I'll just give you a point, Seth. But for the females, oh, man, I'm going to get really in on it. For some reason, he wants them to look at him like he's their dad, Papa H. And for some reason, he thinks that these females, they need him to talk down to them like that, to pump up their self-esteem and to know that they did it and keep fighting. You're incredible. Don't ever forget that. Whisper sweet nothings into their ear. It is cringe. And when Rhea Ripley gave that look on Unreal, man, it really magnified that. How he interacts with Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie V. It's weird, man. And this is the same dude that he put himself. He told Vince to take Test out of the storyline with Stephanie and put himself in it. Yeah, as if that wasn't grimy. This is the same dude that instantly put the moves on her when he got into the storyline. So don't try to say Helmsley's not like that. Helmsley doesn't mix business with pleasure, basically. It's weird, man. How he treats the females is very weird. You would not see this in Home Depot. You would not, hopefully not. You wouldn't see it in Bank of America management. Associate Sally comes in. Bank of America management Bill's office. And Bill's like, Sally, come here. I am giving you an award. Banker of the Month. It's not just a plaque. It's a little title belt. So I'm going to put it around you. Just turn around, please. Just bend over my desk if you don't mind. Yeah, I'm just going to put it around you. All right, it's on. Now turn around. Let me just tell you how proud of you I am. I'm just going to tell you how incredible you are, and don't stop reaching for the stars, and you have it in you. Don't ever forget that. And hold on, let me just rest my forehead on yours, Sally. Sally, you look like you're getting a little uncomfortable. Stop. Let me just rest my forehead on yours, and let me tell you how amazing you are, okay? We're on live TV. Just don't make me look bad, all right? Who does that? You don't even see that at home. I wouldn't even see that at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure when we were younger, we all worked out of McDonald's, right? I don't even recall it there. And there you don't got much to lose, right? Manager's probably like, damn, I got some hot chicks under me. I still didn't see it there. They were just embracing and resting his head on theirs and giving them pep talks how amazing they are. You don't see it in sports. If you want to say, well, BC, it's different, man. It's sports and it's WWE and there's a lot on the line. Where do you see? I don't see this. I don't see this in the Super Bowl or with NFL teams. I don't see upper management of my Green Bay Packers doing that with any of the females that work in the organization. I've never seen a photo. I've never seen a video of it. And there's plenty of it, of females working with top management. I don't see it in my New York Knicks, my New York Yankees. What sport? I don't see Dana White doing that with his females. It's weird, man. The females are showing you it's weird. When videos and so many photos are out there of their faces just looking like, get me out of this situation. Bro, you can tell me all of this 3 feet from me. You do not have to be on my face to tell me I'm good, and don't forget it. I never did forget it. I'm Stephanie V. I could have chose any promotion because I know how good I am. I was going to win titles. I was going to make a lot of money. I don't need you to tell me this, bro. But this is Papa H. The way that he interacts with the females is cringe. It is creepy. And I've never seen it. I've never seen a boss do that with so many females. Some weird stuff. That storyline with Trish Stratus and Hunter Hearst Helmsley back in the day. Oh, how creepy, all right? Oh, how vivid that is now, right? Remember when he was teaching Trish how to do the moves, right? And he had Trish bent over the sofa in the backstage segment. Oh, yes. Not far off, right? Same way that he said in a storyline, in air quotes, when he made fun of Mark, and Mark is not happy with the product. Mark is going to stop watching if the product doesn't change. Remember he was making fun of fans? Well, here we are all these years later. Now he's the boss with a suit and tie. And now he's telling fans to F off if you don't like the product. You're not even a real fan. Oh, so that wasn't just a storyline 20 years ago. No, that's how he truly feels about fans. He can't stand fans. Yeah, that was cringeworthy to watch. And I'm supposed to say what? Go along with the headlines? Helmsley's out there for an emotional moment with Stephanie. What an awesome moment between Stephanie and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque. Wow, what a moment. Is that what I'm supposed to say? No, it's creepy. It's cringe. It's pathetic. Just keep your hands off the females, bro. Treat them like pro wrestlers. Treat them like adults who are accomplishing things. You're not their dad. They're not vulnerable and so meek that they have to have you hold their hand and coddle them and cuddle with them. And then there was, so that was just, that was weird. That was creepy. Then there was the John Cena AJ Styles match. The match was just finisher spam. And I know, but BC, it was fun. Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll give you that, right? There were some fun aspects to it. Wow, they're doing an RKO. Oh, he's going for a 619. Oh, a tombstone. Oh, homage to Samoa Joe. Yes, fun. Awesome. We got up really, really early. We paid triple the price for some fun, some comedy, because the match wasn't serious at all, clearly. The entire match was finisher spam. And if you're wondering, nope, none of the finishers did the job. None of them. But that's kind of par for the course, right? That's the whole show, because Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins took a super crossroads from the top rope. You would think Seth Rollins would be down for the pinfall of a 20. You could count to 25. Rollins isn't getting up. It was a super crossroads. It was Cody's finisher amplified on roids, basically. And Seth Rollins just kicked out at 2 like nothing. How are you supposed to believe in people's finishers if that's... How far is too far? Have we totally just destroyed finishers? Are finishers that meaningless in 2025? In this era, why are finishers meaningless? Why do they not finish anything or anyone? And we pick and choose, right? Sometimes it just takes one and that's it. Sometimes it takes 5 finishers, but they finally get it. Sometimes you could do a finisher from the top rope or the top of the arena, and they'll kick out at 2. There's no consistency with finishers. They don't finish anybody. I saw a super crossroads, and I saw Rollins kick out, and then a couple minutes later, win the match. Because I saw Cody Rhodes get knocked out by a watch. A watch. A watch, a Rolex. I saw a street fight that had nothing to do with a street. It was called an Australian street fight. Where's the street? What did that have to do with Australia? Because they're in an arena that happens to be in Australia, we called the wrestling mat, the canvas, a street? And now doing this review, I'm supposed to tell you how incredible this was? When I didn't see, it was advertised as an Australian street fight. And I saw Roman Reigns throwing around rugby balls and patting Bronson Reed's ass with a croquet racket. I would have taken the kendo sticks and trash can lids had I known we were chucking rugby balls and croquet rackets were being used. And by the way, it's a good thing Cody Rhodes calls him QB1 because it ain't Roman, because if Roman was a quarterback, he'd be missing every single receiver. Left, right, always. Interceptions. I mean, he couldn't hit a big Bronson Reed with any of the balls being thrown. It was sad. It's a good thing he's a wrestler and not a quarterback. But anyway, all jokes aside, there was no street. It's one of my pet peeves in pro wrestling. Just call it a no DQ match. Just call it no holds bar. Why are you calling this a street fight? They didn't even go into the street for like a second. Or they didn't even go to the parking lot. Let us just see the street in Australia. An Australian street fight, apparently, from what WWE is telling us, a street fight, an Australian street fight, which is what this match was, what it consists of. So if you're ever in Australia, you're going to get in a street fight. Just so you know, right? Now you have a heads up. You know what to expect. If you're ever in Australia and you're having a street fight, just know that it's going to be with rugby balls and croquet rackets. And that is your street fight. You just got to, it's like dodgeball. They're going to try to throw balls at you. Man, Australia, man ass, let me tell you, badass. And I'm supposed to what? Say how amazing the match was, how it contributed to such an awesome event. We got up early in the morning to watch 5 matches. 5! I now know why Helmsley does 5. It's not because he wants to oversaturate a card. He can't even handle 5. Definitely can't handle any more than 5. That's all he can even keep in his Rolodex of his dome piece. 5 matches. It's hard enough for the dude. And then there was a tag match with Rhea and Io and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi. This could have easily been on a Raw, SmackDown, like most of these matches, and no harm, no foul. You wouldn't have to pay $30 for this. You wouldn't have to get up early in the morning for this. This wouldn't be called a PLE or a pay-per-view. for a tag match like this. With a simplistic finish and nothing afterwards. No story progression. No climactic moment that we're all talking about. Whoa, did you see at the finish or even after the match? Nothing. Io jumps into the arms of Rhea as if they're long-lost lovers. Yes, everyone had to get up early and spend more money for this. No, you think I'm happy about any of this? No. Do you think the show was worth it? That's adorable. If it was to you, that's for you. If you think BC's going to tell you this show was worth it, you got another thing coming. Absolutely not. This show was another mid-show. And that's not what you charge triple for. If you're going to charge more, you better produce better. No, this company, they charge more, and they put even less effort, if that's even imaginable. That's what they did for Crown Jewel, a bunch of random matchups. Let's get into it. You've had enough of a cold open teaser, opening monologue. BC's let a lot out in that. Let's get through the actual matches. You ready for this? Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns started this show off. Bronson Reed defeats Roman via tsunami pinfall. Now, some notes on this. Jey Uso inadvertently speared Roman through a table to set up that tsunami. So now there's tension between all three cousins. First, Roman storms out pissed off, says, I don't want to see you guys till the holidays. I don't want to see you till Christmas. Pretty much tells you won't see Roman till Christmas. Probably the December 13th. Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match. Maybe they'll do something big there. But Roman storms off. Jey Uso and Jimmy are then bickering with one another, and Jey ends up taking off, pissed off at Roman. And mid-Jim, it looks like. So you have tension between all three cousins. This is literally redoing the old Bloodline story. This is Vince McMahon. This is Vince McMahon's Bloodline story. That's all this is. Like, are you serious? Are we really that creatively bankrupt? And I know it's rhetorical. The answer is yes. But we're that bankrupt that we need to go back several years to the original Bloodline story with Roman, Jey, and Jimmy. This has already happened. And Jey plants some seeds of dissension and tension between the Usos, and then the Usos are so much tension that they have to eventually break up. They actually had a match at WrestleMania. We were hoping it was going to be good, but like I always say about especially Jey Uso, for some reason, singly, he's horrible. As a tag team, it's one of the best. It's my favorite tag team. Singly, mid-Jim feels just like his name says, mid-Jim. And Jey Uso is just horrible as a singles wrestler. We saw that pretty fast. Title got taken off of him in 2 months. They were questioning if they even made the right decision before he even won the championship. WWE Unreal on Netflix, where they expose everything, man. The suits and ties, Helmsley, Michael P.S. Hayes, Bruce Pritchard. They were like, do we not go with Jey? Even after the Rumble victory, when they saw he was winded and he was exhausted and landing on his head just trying to get over the top rope. So they had a WrestleMania match and that completely just shit the bed. But we already saw Jimmy and Jey not just have tension, but implode. We saw Roman and Jimmy square off. We saw Roman and Jey square off a couple of times. So you can't go anywhere with this. We've seen every type of tension and dissension between the three. And we're doing it again in 2025. Only difference now is that Roman feels so much less special than he once was, sadly. Hunter S. Helmsley didn't just crush John Cena's last year in the business, ruin it with poor creative and direction. Zero creative and direction. But Helmsley simultaneously made Roman Reigns feel beyond mediocre. Helmsley somehow found a way to crush the momentum and special feeling of John Cena or at least Cena's last year, and Roman Reigns and his status. Roman Reigns comes back now and He's bickering with some mid-carders, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Now he's coming back and he's losing to Bronson Reed. And then bickering with his cousins. And says, I don't want to see you till the holidays. So what? Roman leaves, comes back around the holidays, comes back and starts up this bloodline storyline. Again, just redoing it. I don't know what special feel Roman has to you anymore. Hunter Helmsley has cooked this dude. If Roman Reigns missed the entire year after Mania, right, have him do a WrestleMania, if he did not show up the rest of the year, you would have missed nothing. You realize that? He's done nothing this year. He's played around with Bronson Reed and bickered with his cousins. That's the truth. I mean, BC might be the only one to be this honest with you. Again, I'm probably supposed to be telling you how amazing this match was, how amazing the show was. It's worth 3 times the money. It's worth getting up at 7 a.m. for. Oh, man, it was such a good show. No, you're not getting that here. You're getting the damn truth. You know that. And again, as I said in the opening, they had extensive opening monologue. There was no Australian street involved. I was told this was an Australian street fight. What made it Australian? How do I know it's an Australian street fight if there's no street? You're inside of an arena. That's not called a street unless in Australia they call the inside of an arena a street. And then which case I digress. And okay then, I guess it was an Australian street fight. But they take out rugby balls, croquet rackets. They start chucking rugby balls as if it's dodgeball. And Bronson Reed is a big dude, and Roman could not touch him. So, I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Roman Reigns is looking up at the lights. Jay inadvertently hit some of the cousins are bickering as if it's 4 years ago. There's no Australian street involved, even though it was called an Australian street fight. If this was the good, the bad, and the ugly, that would get an ugly, and I'm being generous. I might give it 2, maybe 3 uglies. It's not a good, the bad, and the ugly review because this company isn't worth the time to do something special like that, sadly. This was stupid. If you're going to call something a street fight, book a street. Pay for the permits, shut down a side of a street. It happens all the time for movies. New York City, Los Angeles, doesn't matter. They shut down streets for 12 hours at a time with a proper permit. And you could pick a stupid side street and just take 1 hour to shut it down. You'd have to pay peanuts. It wouldn't interfere with traffic because you're just picking some stupid little side street. You shut it down for 1 hour. It's called a detour. Happens all the time with construction or just permits for videoing. But no, they don't take the time. Nothing. They just call it an Australian street fight. BC, man, you're really hung up on that. Of course I am. Why are you not pissed off? Just call it a no holds barred match or no DQ, no count out. But we have to preserve and once again make prestigious the street fight. If you call it a Chicago street fight, a Philly street fight, a New York City street fight, that's special. You want to see a Chicago street, a Philly street, a New York City street, an Australian street. It's going to be interesting. What are you going to see in the Australian street fight? Like in the background, are you going to see some mates drinking some beers out of their shoes? What else happens on Australia? I don't know. Are you going to see a kangaroo? Well, that would be in the safari, right? Would that be on the street? Maybe you see kangaroos on maybe there'll be a safari, right? Jump in a little Jeep. Crikey, where to? Careful on the corner, some crocodiles. I don't know what accent that was, sorry. That turned into a redneck, I think. An Australian redneck. I don't know what that was. Anyway, you get the point. Let me see. Let me get the feel of the street that you're fighting in. You got nothing. So yeah, I'm not spending enough time on this. I'm really amplified on these matters, man. None of this made sense. It's not worth getting up that early and spending 3 times the amount for that match at all. So you're hoping it picks up next, right? You got what should be a good match, Stephanie V defeating Tiffany Stratton via her own moonsault. Not the prettiest, but the corkscrewiest. If you saw the match, she won with the corkscrew moonsault. So a moonsault of her own. And Tiffany Stratton actually lost this match. Now, between these females, I think you pretty much knew that Stephanie was going to win this. She probably needed it more than Tiffany. Storyline-wise, if you are going to tell stories, which again, it's under hers, Helmsley, don't hold your breath on it. But if you are going to tell stories, you could do a lot more with Tiffany in a story right now than you can Stephanie V. Stephanie is still trying to get her English under her. There's just a lot more steps that Stephanie has to take storyline-wise. Tiffany, it's much more easy to insert her into so much. So I'm definitely more than okay with the winner here. Again, Steph V wins the big photo op toy belt. That's all this is. It doesn't travel with them. It wouldn't even pass airport security. And I'm sure that's a good thing. Stephanie doesn't want this. What do you do with this? It is so humongous. It's laughable, right? I mean, some things, the bigger the better, right? It's like, wow, that's you. Like if you're giving an engagement ring and it's a huge diamond, right? But there's a point. You don't want it to be a clown show of a diamond, right? It can't be so big that it's laughable. It's like you're looking at it as if it's a toy, right? Like it's a massive diamond. You're supposed to go, whoa. You're not supposed to go, is that even real? Is that a toy? Schnoz McGee is then out to make things really cringe and creepy. I think I've said everything I need to say in the opening monologue. So where I spent more time on it earlier, I'll spend less now. But again, just to recap, he turns her around post-match and starts strapping the title around her waist. Then turns her back around, grabbing her by the arm. Like, grabs her arm. And Steph goes for a handshake. But Helmsley no-sells it, wraps his arms around her in a big hug. He then holds her while talking to her face-to-face, even putting his head on hers. Like you do to a cat, you know? A cat's trying to like snuggle with yours and you put your head up against theirs. He puts his head on hers and he just keeps talking, I guess, about how he's proud of her and don't ever forget how good and special you are. I don't even know. I mean, it's really weird. And he does this with all the females. It's just creepy. They're not vulnerable kids that are looking for dad's validation. In fact, you're not even their dad, dude. You're not even their dad. I don't know why you think that all these females need this from you. This is a very, very weird dude. Again, when he got in that storyline with Vince's daughter, I mean, he put the moves on with the quickness, man. They got married and he became the boss. That's the only way he's in this position, guys. He has no creativity in him. Vince Russo, Bret Hart, and so many others that have been in that locker room, they'll tell you he has no creativity. They never saw it in him. NXT, William Regal, Dusty Rhodes. They already had the foundation of NXT. He came in with Vince's wallet. Vince paid every dime of that black and gold days. He always paid every dime. He would fly in once a week on the company jet and play Papa H. Took all the credit during those couple of years of success. And then when they started getting beat, Tony Khan and AEW came in. They started beating them in the ratings. NXT wasn't fun anymore. Then Helmsley was like, what? I got nothing to do with it. In fact, this is developmental. This was a quote. It's developmental. Congratulations. You beat our developmental. It's not supposed to be anything more than that. Oh, how fast you're switching up your tune. When there was a couple of years of success, and it was the cool thing, you were getting all the praise. Now that it's being bashed, it's getting beat, it's not as special, it's not the fun or cool thing anymore. Now all of a sudden, hey, I got nothing to do with it. It's only developmental. Stephanie V wins the damn thing, and then all of a sudden Helmsley comes out to make it all weird like he always does. That's my thoughts on it. I don't know what else I'm supposed to tell you. The match was decent to even good. It wasn't any better than that. If you think I'm going to praise Stephanie versus Tiffany any more than I just did, no. It was decent to good. Several spots in this was good. A lot of it was just mid-toe in the line. Decent. It's the most truthful review you're going to get on this match. Did you watch it? John Cena then defeats AJ Styles via adjustment pinfall. This match was a farce. It was fun. Okay, I'll give you that for the most part. But it was a parody of what they've done in the past. They just went through a Rolodex of wrestler finishers, right? Finisher spam, we call it. Sweet chin music, skull-crushing finale, tombstones, RKOs, and many more finishers all were utilized. And none, if you're wondering, none did the job. All these finishers, but they couldn't finish any of them. Homage to Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio. Right? There was an attempt at a 619. I never got the sense that there was any seriousness to this match. If the sole purpose was just to have some fun, quote, then accomplished. But getting up at 8 a.m. for this and paying 3 times what we used to pay for this, no. So what's the takeaway? They had some fun. You can call it a good match because of the fun. I never got a sense that they were being serious, man. They were just doing so many other wrestler finishers. It became, right, if there's a couple minutes of that, okay, it became a farce after a while. The crowd would just start chanting something and they would just do it, right? He does the Orton DDT and then RKO and he looks at it, he's like, all right. They start chanting 619. He's like, I can't, oh, screw it. All right, so I get it. It was fun. But it became a farce. It was a parody of what they've done in the past. Styles was rocking some old school TNA style gear, by the way. I guess that was pretty cool. I'm reaching here, guys. I'm trying to find anything that would make me go, hey, it's a good thing we paid 3 times and got up really early for this. I'm trying, man. But all I'm really getting is they did a bunch of wrestler finishers. Okay. Post-match, they of course shared mutual respect. So it was all for nothing. They just shake hands and hug it out. And, hey, man, that was good. Good job. Good game, good game, good game, good game, right? Pee-wee football. Remember, you're younger in sports, and after the game, no matter who won or lost, you just say, good game, good game, good game, good game. That's all this is in WWE. Mutual respect. I'm not sure what this last year for Cena is, or is going to be. I'm really just not sure. I mean, how Helmsley has botched John Cena's last year is actually sad and tragic. But it's Helmsley. Shouldn't be surprised, and we're not. But because it's John Cena, it's sad and tragic. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defeat Asuka and Karise and Riptide. And the over the moonsault combo did the trick. So a Riptide and then Io hits her over the moonsault. That was it. There's nothing else in my notes here. There was nothing else that happened. They had a decent wrestling match. You could have saw it on a Raw, SmackDown, or a house show. You wouldn't have to get up early. You wouldn't have to pay 3 times the amount. I assure you. This was for a match just to fill up the card. Because, well, they didn't even have, it's only 5 matches, and they didn't even have all 5 even a week ago. So they just filled it with this. And then after that, there was 10 minutes of commercials and filler, ironically, right? So leading into the main event, you could have picked up a bad habit, throw yourself in the traffic, go make 6 or 12 coffees, because it was several minutes of filler and commercials following that. That's right, you're paying more money, you're getting more commercials than ever before. Main event, Rollins defeats Cody via stomp pinfall to win the giant photo op toy belt. Rollins uses the Rolex watch to knock Cody out and then hits a couple of stomps. Rollins somehow kicks out of a super crossroads in this match, by the way. From the top rope, a crossroads. An avalanche crossroads, I think is what some call it. We'll just stick with super crossroads. And Rollins kicks out at 2. How are we supposed to believe that any human cannot kick out of a regular crossroads now? How far do we take these things? Why are finishers not protected in this era of wrestling? Finisher spam, just another item destroying pro wrestling. But of course, nobody will talk about it but BC and the Amplified unit. This channel is where we're going to talk about these discussions that have to be had, because nobody else is going to. You're just going to hear, what a match! What a show! Wow, I think things are picking up in WWE. And then Helmsley feels like, see, all is good. Of course it's not, right? The PLEs and pay-per-views are usually much better than the actual shows because we all know what to expect going in. It's supposed to be the payoff of everything. So in other words, you're just seeing a bunch of matches. Hopefully they're booked correctly. The match itself, the finishes, are next level finishes. Memorable. Climactic moments. Hopefully there's things happening either during the finish or after the match that progress something new that is worthy to talk about and get excited about. That's what needs to be done at the events, the pay-per-views, the PLEs. So it's much easier, believe it or not, it's much easier to produce a better pay-per-view than it is a Raw or a SmackDown. So yeah, usually they're going to be better. This never had much going on before it or going into it. So no, this was not going to be a mulligan for WWE. They were going to have to work for this. If you want BC to praise this, Helmsley was going to have to work harder for it. And he didn't, and that's clear. No, you're not getting me praising this. There's nothing to praise. There was 5 matches. Do you want me to quickly go through them again to show you there was nothing to praise? The Rhea Ripley EO match was a house show match at best. It's a filler match. It could be at the PLE or it could be at a house show. You wouldn't bat an eyelash. You wouldn't think twice. That's the truth. John Cena and AJ Styles came out of nowhere like an RKO when it was announced. They never even crossed paths before this match. For this newer, anyway. Of course, they've had matches in the past. But since this match was announced, they just stayed separate. Fans were like, what is this? AJ Styles on a Monday Night Raw recently said, we don't need a story. Just give us your money and watch. That's basically what he said. He did say, we don't need a story. And then when we see the match, they just did everybody's finisher. A bunch of wrestlers' finishers, and I'm supposed to praise how amazing this was after they shook hands after the match. No. It was fun. Deal? How's that for positive? We had some fun at 8 a.m. Awesome. Rollins beats Cody Rhodes via a stomp. Okay. I've seen this match several times. Cody gets knocked out via a Rolex watch. Seth wins a giant atrocity toy championship. Wow. So glad I paid triple the price. Stephanie V beats Tiffany. Okay. Hunter S. Helmsley is a creep afterwards. Wow. So glad I paid triple the price. Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight that had no street involved, but they threw around some rugby balls. It was dodgeball. And that's the whole show. Yeah, when I run it down like that, you're like, well, BC, when you put it that way, but that is the way. That's what happened on this show. That's what a lot of you guys got up early and paid more money for. That's why I say it's not about good show, bad show, decent or horrendous. I'm past that. Now we have to talk even more vividly in terms of honesty. Are these shows worth it? No, this was not worth it. There's nothing you're talking about after this. You're not remembering any of this a week from now, tomorrow. If it wasn't for a review show like this, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. You're not going to watch this a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. This is going to be one of those events you're like, remember that Crown Jewel 25? I want to watch that again, actually. Man, what an event. BC's just gonna give you this type of honesty, man. Nobody else is gonna. That's what I got for you. Crown Jewel. Go about your weekends, man. If you didn't catch this show, you just caught this review. I saved you some time. You're welcome. Until next time. And there will be that next time. Unit. Check you. Salute.